Welcome to another Life Enhancers video talk. My name is Anthony Grant. For the last 20 years I have been practicing energy psychology at Life Enhancers. Today I'm going to talk about fluoride. If you have any sense, you will avoid it as if it were coronavirus. It alone can cause multiple problems. So many I don't have the time to tell you, but I'll tell you where you can find all. This talk could be very short or very long. I've chosen the former. As I said, it's about fluoride. That's the stuff that's in 99% of toothpaste, mouthwashes, and in many waterboards around the country. Now, it's not compulsory. Each waterboard had a choice to add fluoride or not to add. Originally, it was intended to stop tooth cavities in children. It causes far more harm than good, and its use should be stopped. According to Dr. Jerry Tennant in his book Healing is Voltage, the handbook, fluoride is the major cause of hypothyroidism or an underactive thyroid. I've spoken many times about this book. Tennant had a virus on the brain and decided that to become well he had to understand how a cell worked. If he could mend one cell, he could mend them all. For the good of your health, read that book. Use it as a reference book, as it's pretty heavy going in a lot of places. Now, here in Chichester we have Portsmouth water, which puts 6 parts per million of fluoride in the water. 1 part per million is enough to cause problems. The biggest problem is that fluoride overcomes the iodine in your body, which is used mostly by the thyroid gland. The thyroid can't work properly without the iodine, so other things will go wrong. Overweight is one huge noticeable problem, and this is where I can go on and on telling you about the various problems fluoride causes. But I'm just going to say that in Tennant's book he shows a table of all the problems that are caused by fluoride poisoning, and alongside it a table of problems caused by hypothyroidism. They are almost identical. He also points out that the problems caused in those areas are the most common areas that have cancer. Here are a few of them. Abnormal sweating, which is an iodine deficiency. ADHD in children, learning disorders. Allergies. Alopecia, which is hair loss. Alzheimer's disease. Anaphylactic shock. Anemia. Apnea, cessation of breath. Aorta calcification. Asthenia, weakness. And those are just the ones beginning with the letter A. Another problem which is overlooked is low temperature. It is so overlooked it is becoming to be normal if your temperature is 35 to 36 degrees centigrade instead of a core temperature of 37 degrees centigrade or 98.4 Fahrenheit. If you have a low temperature, it's almost certain that you have an underactive thyroid. My thyroid was underactive and my temperature was 35.5. The UK uses outdated thyroid testing. The test we used showed that my thyroid was okay. To solve the problem of fluoride in my water, I take 3 milligrams of boron a day, which neutralizes the fluoride. Going back to iodine, it's something that was in regular use until the NHS and Big Pharma came into being. It is an amazing antiseptic. It even kills viruses. To try and counteract the loss of iodine, I take 1 drop of Lugol's iodine, 15%, in a full glass of water. 15% is a high dose, so start with 1 drop in a full glass of water every other day for 2 weeks, and then 1 drop every day. Don't take too much. As I did, my hair became like straw. So using the boron and the iodine, my temperature has returned to 36.8 and is constant. The iodine, I am informed, will not work with everybody, but it's well worth a try. I used to think it was strange why iodine is such an important chemical for us to operate properly, considering there is very little found on land. It is mostly found in the sea in seaweed. As land mammals, why would we need something that is only readily available in the sea? Well, we lived in the sea for between 3 and 5 million years. Now, this is about the evolution of humans. They tell us that our ancestors dropped out of the trees where they were safe from ground predators and started to walk upright over hundreds of generations. And then thousands more generations went on until we became humans. Quite an idea. But I prefer another theory, that our ancestors were cut off from the land by some severe flooding of parts of the earth and had to survive in the sea. The apes of those days continued as apes in trees to this present day, but our ancestors, which were also apes, went into the sea and emerged millions of years later as humanoids. A species only changes when its environment changes. Our ancestors who were in the sea had to change or die. They did the former. Now, this hypothesis, as it was at the beginning, was taken up by Elaine Morgan, who wrote several books about the aquatic ape theory. She heard a lecture saying that we had fat or blubber under our skin, and our ancestor apes don't. She points out in her books there are many differences between apes and humans, and here are just a few. Now, we can hold our breath. Apes can't. As a land animal, why would we have to hold our breath or even want to? We can breathe through our mouths. Apes can't. Again, why would we need to? We have webbed hands. Apes don't. Webbed hands? Why? The list goes on, but the ones I mentioned and many others would be an asset if we lived in the sea. Another interesting thing I did was a quick search on the internet, and I found nothing about apes having a thyroid gland. If anyone knows about that, please let me know. As for iodine, it's plentiful in seaweed, and there's plenty of seaweed in the sea. Iodine is essential for our good health, but if you drink water with fluoride, use mouthwash with fluoride, etc., your iodine has been taken over by the fluoride and your health has been compromised. So, you have one book you have to read, Healing is Voltage by Dr. Jerry Tennant, and if you're interested, The Aquatic Ape Theory by Elaine Morgan. That ends this week's talk. If you haven't already, please subscribe, it's free, and then you'll easily find my next video talk. And please share these talks. I'll try and make a new one every week. Every video talk that I give will help you to become and stay healthy. If you don't, one day you will realize, even with all your accumulated wealth and possessions, without your health you have nothing.